भाइयों बहनों देवियों सज्जनों ladies and gentlemen धन्यवाद 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 thank you so much Editors Guild, thank you so much all of you. Each time I've come to Odisha it's been a very significant occasion and I'll try and make sure this one is too. The reason why I'm the second speaker is they think that if there are too much legalese, one judge and then a lawyer, you might fall off to sleep. So I have been invited because I can sing and I'll dance. And though Anantnath is not paying me, I will nevertheless sing and I will dance. And I'll know that every single word I say and every action of mine is going to be immortalized in YouTube. So let me begin by one of the last remarks that the Honorable Judge made. He said, business houses should not have media interests. Hello, goodbye. The two richest businessmen in India, the two biggest oligarchs in India are the biggest owners of the media, Mr. Adani and Mr. Ambani. I am not telling you an official secret, it is a fact. Official secrets is another case of judicial, you know what the government does to the law. The Official Secrets Act is an old man, he's over 100 years old. And there is a young teenager called the RTI, the Right to Information Act. But the old man is not giving any precedence to the young teenager. Therefore, the RTI is in a mess. It's been consistently weakened by the government because they prefer the Official Secrets Act. Next point, sir, and I'm only going to speak to you for 15 minutes because that's the time that has been given to me. I won't take any longer. Judge Sahib is absolutely right. This 19.2 is the problem. Who decides what is reasonable? Yuktigat. Juktigato. Who says? My neighbor who doesn't like my face? The gunda down the road? The constable in the local thana? The magistrate of the lower court? Or the Chief Justice of India? Who decides what is reasonable? That is the problem. That is the discretion, and that is where all the problems arise. Now, let me take a few steps back. And I want to take what Mr. N. Ram said a little forward. Today we are living in a day and age where among the two largest multinational conglomerates in the world are Meta and Alphabet. These are run by two individuals or founded by two individuals who are today in their 40s. They're younger than me. I'm an old man. I'm going to be 60. I have turned 69 the other day. You're like my children, most of the audience here. Meta, Mark Zuckerberg, Facebook, Instagram, and above all, WhatsApp. WhatsApp. Apple. Leave Apple aside. Let's look at Alphabet. Alphabet is the owner of Google. It's not that every word you can search and find out. It's, they know if you have your map on, they know where you're going. So it's Google, but Google is not only Google. Google is YouTube, a virtual monopoly they have on YouTube, or on the whole audiovisual medium. And part of Alphabet is Android. Well over 85% of all the operating systems in your mobile phones are Android systems. Only a small proportion has Apple. So imagine these two corporations founded by individuals who are today in their 40s. Look at the amount of control they have. What you watch, what you read, what you hear. This is the age, the post-truth age. The age, as was pointed out earlier, the age of disinformation and misinformation. Let's come to India. Once upon a time when I was young, a telephone is a luxury, used to be a luxury. Today, India has about 140 crore people. Go to the website of the Telecom Regulatory Authority of India, and you'll find that the number of subscribers to mobile phones in this country is in the region of 115 to 120 crore. What does that mean? That many SIMs, SIMs, have been issued. What does that mean? What is a SIM? Subscriber Identity Module. It's inside your mobile phone. Do you know that in most parts of India, not just Bhubaneswar, not just a small town, go to Kianchar, go anywhere, in most parts of India today, if you exclude infants, there are more SIMs than human beings. This is the Naya India. अच्छे दिन आ गया जी, मोदी जी कह दिया अच्छे दिन आ गया. ठीक है, आपका बैंक का खाता में you haven't got 15 lakh rupees, but that's all right. These are electoral promises that are made in the heat of the moment sometimes. WhatsApp gives you end-to-end encryption. What does that mean? I'll give you one concrete example. Some years ago, a Muslim laborer was burned to death in Rajsamand district in Rajasthan by a fanatic who's right now behind bars. And he was burned to death, and one of his relatives actually videographed it. And it went viral. They showed how a man was being burned to death. When the police authorities went to WhatsApp and said, please tell us who was the first originator of this content, they said, we can't tell you. Our design architecture does not allow us. So even when heinous crimes are committed, the only way you can get your WhatsApp messages is when the police person seizes your phone. I've been honored. My phone has been seized several times. So was Mr. Arnab Goswami's phone. That's how you knew how television ratings can be manipulated, how a gentleman can become the information advisor. But let's move on and come to our Honorable Prime Minister. Shri Narendra Damodar Das, Shri Narendra Damodar Das Modi is the one and the only Prime Minister of India, one and only Prime Minister who has never addressed a press conference openly. Tali bajao bachche. Every Prime Minister of India, some point of time, has taken, it's an unscripted, spontaneous press conference. Mr. Modi picks and chooses the people who he wants to give interviews to. And since I'm being recorded, I'll give you only a few names. There are many others. Shri Rajat Sharma, my friend. I've known him when he was a part of the Akhil Bharatiya Vidyarthi Parishad in Delhi University. Madam Anjana Om Kashyap. Mrs. Navika Kumar. Shri Rahul Shiv Shankar, also known as RSS, Rahul Shiv Shankar. I can give you some more names, if you like. Mr. Goswami is feeling a little left out, maybe because I only mentioned him once. It doesn't matter, there are many others. Deepak Chaurasya. Now you see, he picks and chooses them. But he is not just journalists, no? He picks and chooses non-journalists. You remember that very famous actor, Akshay Ji? Arey Baba, wo Canada mein tha, abhi Bharatvarsh mein aa gaya. He's one of the top income taxpayers of this country, you know. Very important question. He asked of the leader of the world's largest democracy, Mananiya Pradhan Mantri Ji, my driver, he asked me to ask you this question. आप आम कैसे खाते हैं? बिल्कुल जी, आप काट के खाते हैं या चूस के खाते हैं? I mean, it's such an important question. Only the leader of the world's biggest democracy can ask this question. Anyway, this is our life, so we have to live with it. As was already pointed out, it's not just the misuse of the law on sedition, the law on defamation. Never has the law of sedition been used so often as it has in the last 10 years. And as was pointed out by the Honorable Judge before me, he was from Odisha, therefore I mention him by name, Justice Deepak Mishra, the former Chief Justice of India. He's the one who said the right of a person, the reputation and the freedom of expression, and he justified why criminal content, manhani, should be both a civil offense and a criminal offense. I'll say some personal things about me, please don't mind. I'm the only citizen of India against whom Shri Gautam Adani's lawyers has instituted 6 cases of defamation. 5 are in Gujarat and 1 is in Rajasthan. Fact. These honorable lady and gentlemen did not answer my question. He had a little role to play in why I resigned from the post of editor of the Economic and Political Weekly. But let that be for the time being. The Honorable Judge mentioned the PCI, the Press Council of India. I was a member of the Press Council of India. I acquired notoriety because I was one of the authors of a report called Paid News, How Corruption in the Indian Media Undermines Democracy. There's a story behind it, but I will not get into it. But to describe the Press Council of India as a toothless tiger would be giving it a compliment, paying it a compliment. You know, शेर देख के तो लोग डर जाते हैं ना, उसको मालूम नहीं है कि शेर का दांत नहीं है. Sir, Press Council is actually weaker than a toothless tiger because it cannot scare anybody. It has no punitive powers. It is a quasi-judicial authority set up by an act of parliament with no powers. It has only powers to admonish, powers to criticize. Bad boy, don't do it again. Bad girl, go stand in the corner. Bad boy, catch your ears, go to that corner, go up and down. I'm sorry to say, the quasi-judicial body is just that. But the problem in India is we have a multiplicity of regulatory bodies as well as self-regulatory bodies. Let's take one example, the CBFC, the Central Board of Film Certification, also called Censor Board. It's been recently packed by propagandists of the Prime Minister. One of them once said, you know, James Bond, you have been smooching for 7 seconds, cut it off, make it 3 seconds. You know, censorship in India is a subject of a big issue. We can talk about the OTT platforms and the depiction of violence and sex on the screen. And why? I mean, it's a huge subject. I'll leave it for another occasion. So you have the Censor Board. You have the Press Council of India. You have the Information and Broadcasting Ministry, the Suchna and Prasaran Mantralaya. They are the licensing authorities for television channels. They can withdraw it, they can suspend it. And that's not all. You have the TRAI, the Technical and Commercial Regulator. And then you have self-regulatory bodies. You have bodies like the Advertising Standards Council of India. You have bodies like the BCCC, Broadcast Complaints Council, something. You have the NBSA, the News Broadcasting Standards Authority, etc., etc. You have a multiplicity of bodies who are supposed to regulate what you watch, what you hear, what you cannot hear, what you should not hear. Therefore, we have complete chaos, complete anarchy, arajakata, complete anarchy. Today, we are in the day and age of convergence. It's all in the palm of your hand. Your newspaper is in the palm of your hand. Your radio is in the palm of your hand. Your television set is in the palm of your hand, and more. Look, radio in India. Akashvani is a unique organization. But we are among the only, just as we are among the few countries in the world where defamation is criminalized, we are among the few countries in the world where news and current affairs on radio is a monopoly of the government. All India radio will decide what you can put out on the radio. Prime Minister said, Prime Minister said, Prime Minister said. He cut the ribbon, he laid a foundation stone. Man ki baat, are baap re baap. Man ki baat. I will conclude a little earlier than scheduled so that my lawyer friend can come and speak to you. He is a lawyer, not a liar. And if he's keeping you from lunch, you blame him and not me. All right? So the point I wanted to make is about dogs. You know, I love dogs. I think most dogs are better than human beings. You know, even when they're angry, they're snarling, you know they're angry. You know they're happy, they're transparent. They don't say something to you on your face and do just the opposite. They don't stab you in the back. So because there are so many aspiring journalists, you have to ask yourself, what kind of a dog do you want to be? So there is the watchdog. Journalists are supposed to be watchdogs of society. At 4 o'clock in the morning, the thief has entered your home and wants to burgle you. So the old dog starts barking. So the burglar is alarmed and goes away. You don't know, the burglar doesn't know that dog has no teeth. बूढ़ा हो गया ना, उसका भौंकना आता. He can only bark, he cannot bite. But he is a watchdog. Good, very good. But then we have the Godi media, the lap dog who sits on your lap and is very quiet. Forget barking, forget biting. You can stroke it gently, it'll wag your tail. Especially if the lap belongs to a powerful person, a big neta, a big babu, criminal, mafia don, mining mafia don, military officer. The very, 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 very quiet the dog is. Ravish Kumar coined that phrase, by the way. Intellectual property rights are his. He coined the word Godi media and he also coined the word WhatsApp University. तो बौद्धिक संपत्ति का अधिकार रवीश कुमार जी के पास है. मैं सिर्फ उनको, I'm just a fan of his. You know, people think he's better off now that he runs his own channel. I'm not so sure. NDTV, before it was taken over by Shri Adani, I think he had that big screen, he had the small screen, he had a team, and you don't know the algorithm of YouTube. He may be getting millions of views, but how much is he actually earning from YouTube? Because YouTube is a monopolist, just as WhatsApp has become a virtual monopoly. So you have watchdogs, and you have lap dogs, Godi media. Then you have the intelligent guide dogs, you know. In Switzerland, the Saint Bernard dogs would rescue people who are caught in a snow blizzard. Yeah, there are dogs that can help a visually challenged person cross a street. There are dogs that can sniff out explosives, ganja charas, afim from our luggage. So, sir, we have reached a stage where we have to ask ourselves again and again, what kind of a dog do you want to be? Dhanyavad, namaskar. Thank you.